In the peaceful kingdom of Ulvaria, a widowed gardener lived with his 3 daughters. His orchard was famous for its golden pears, which glowed softly at sunset. The eldest daughter, Clara, was beautiful but cunning. The middle daughter, Sarah, was proud and cold-hearted. But the youngest, Mira, was gentle, honest, and loved by all. One day news spread through the kingdom like a cold wind. The young prince had fallen into a deep, magical sleep. No doctor or healer could wake him. Finally, the royal sages announced that only a golden orchard pear, filled with pure kindness, could bring him back to life. The gardener packed a basket of pears and told his daughters, "Take these to the palace. But remember, on your way, help anyone who needs you." Clara went first, wearing silk and jewels, admiring her reflection in every puddle. As she walked through the forest, a tiny old goblin appeared, leaning on a crooked staff. "What are you carrying, child?" he asked. Clara rolled her eyes and said, "Just stones, nothing valuable." The goblin grinned slyly. "So it shall be," he whispered, and vanished. At the palace gates, Clara proudly handed the basket to the king. But when he opened it, the basket was full of dull stones. The king ordered her to leave at once, and Clara fled in embarrassment. Next came Sarah. She walked confidently, annoyed that she had to deliver anything at all. When the goblin appeared again and asked the same question, she snapped, "It's just dry leaves. I have nothing for you." The goblin nodded. "So it shall be," he said, disappearing into the trees. When Sarah reached the palace, the king opened the basket. Only dry, crumbling leaves lay inside. The king sighed and dismissed her too. Finally, Mira set out quietly with the last basket. She walked with humility, greeting birds and animals along the way. When the goblin appeared and asked gently, "What do you carry?" "My dear Mira," replied with an honest smile, "Golden pears from our orchard. They may heal the prince." The goblin asked for a small pear. Mira immediately offered him one. "Thank you, child," he said warmly. "May your kindness shine." With a swirl of golden mist, he vanished. When Mira arrived at the palace and offered the pears, the king gave one to the prince. In moments, the prince's eyes fluttered open. Color returned to his face, and the entire court erupted in joy. Grateful beyond words, the prince wanted to meet the girl who saved his life. When the prince visited the orchard, he found Mira humbly watering plants. One look into her gentle eyes, and he knew this was the girl he wanted to marry. But Queen Isolde was not pleased. A gardener's daughter, she whispered angrily. She must prove herself worthy. The queen gave Mira her first test: "Bring me a gown made of moonlight by tomorrow." Mira was heartbroken. For how could anyone weave moonlight? As she cried softly in the orchard, the goblin appeared again. "Why tears, child?" he asked. When she told him the truth, he tapped his staff, and a shimmering gown woven from silver moonbeams appeared in her hands. The queen was astonished but still unconvinced. She gave Mira another impossible task: "Fill this crystal jar with the morning song of birds." Once again, Mira sat in despair until the goblin arrived. With a whisper of magic, he guided every sunrise bird to sing into the jar, sealing their melody inside. At last, even the queen could no longer deny Mira's courage, honesty, and pure heart. She embraced her and said, "You are worthy of the royal crown." Mira married the prince in a grand celebration, while Clara and Sarah learned that kindness always triumphs over pride and lies. As for the goblin, he wandered off once more, searching for another heart as true as Mira's.